Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike and your boy.
David, bitches, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. We already did the introductions, so we're just gonna roll right into it. Uh, what's going on, buddy?
Dude, hustle and bustle, man. But since the economy's starting to crack back now, it seems like
Yeah,
everyday life cycle is starting to get into normal. This
for
phase two
sure.
thing is still being, it's a little on the hokey side with whether or not people are going to completely go back to work or they're trying to still phase people in. They've got such a fluctuation going on of whether or not people are getting this virus. So, but I mean, as for like schooling and everything, dude, every single day is just staying preoccupied. So, what about you, Mister? Happy Father's Day. How was yours?
Man, dude, it was a great Father's Day. Just like I was telling you, my son is 13, so I had a 13 years of him being born. This actually felt like a pretty damn good Father's Day.
He's
As
such a
far
good
as
kid too, dude.
yeah. He's a fucking sweetheart.
I
But just
love him.
as just, just as a family, it just felt really good. I got treated like, hey, you are appreciated.
Nice,
So
dude.
for all the fathers out there, the good ones, I ain't talking about you piece of shits. I'm talking about the good ones. If you had a good Father's Day, hey man, well deserved. You know, we all need that day of recognition for sure.
So what's up? Last week was a little bit hectic, hence why we're kind of. I mean, we kind of missed last week when it came to trying to get stuff done. Um, I know that I had some stuff holding me up. I'm sorry, guys. You can completely blame last week on me. We're supposed to get a Yap session pumped out for you on Wednesday. I had an
I think that was
exam.
a little bit my fault too, though.
No,
I
it
think
was
a
me.
little bit. I think a
I
little bit
had
of that was on me.
no, I had that exam on Wednesday, so I had to cancel out on that whole ordeal. So that was
Oh,
entirely on me. But here we are. We're back. So a little bit of new content going for you guys. As you can tell, since I just waterboarded you with that, I did have an exam this week, passed, thankfully. So yeah, like I said, man, just one step closer towards my future career in engineering.
yes, sir. D's get degrees.
Dude, you're correct. The old government adage, C is 100, baby.
Yes, sir. Well, man, hey, man, very cool, very cool. Like I say, I can't wait till I start school. I'm just ready for that new adventure. But so a lot of sport news going on out there that we're gonna jump into. And again, me and Mike, we're not analysts. Okay, we're not analysts. We're not insiders. We're not connected to any sports team to where we got people feeding us shit. It's just as fans what we hear, and as far as being sports lovers and of our particular teams, just what this information means to us as fans. So let's roll right into this shit, bro.
I love it, bro. Okay, talk to me. What's going on?
I don't know. So one thing I wanted to talk about is I seen it today. The NFL insiders think we should sign fucking Cam Newton. A, I want to know who the fuck are these insiders, and two, I want to know why the fuck you're not doing your job right.
Well,
This is
100.
ridiculous.
So basically, this is bad politics more than anything else, as well as lazy journalism, which it seems like we impress upon weekly. But at a certain point
Yeah,
in time, it's redundant because these clowns still have jobs. Um, yeah, no, look, I got nothing against Cam Newton. I think the guy's a really good QB, but there's no room for him in our QB area. It, I mean, you bring that guy in, it instantaneously causes animosity within the QB room because the guy's hyper competitive and justifiably so. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been a league MVP. He's not going to want to sit as second fiddle. And right now, it's Drew Lock's team to lose. They just established a whole bunch of chemistry with the guy this season. Everybody on the team believes in him. I mean, like I said, I think they're just trying to. It's been a slow news week for sports. Nobody's been getting arrested. I mean, minus now that we're kind of coming on the tail end of all the, all the rioting that's been going on, as well as, some other things. Yeah, they're nothing. They're trying to make stuff right now, just stir the pot a little bit, keep people preoccupied.
yeah, and kind of touch on with Mike. I don't know how these fucking people still have a job because it's just lazy fucking journalism. Like, when you spout this shit out, do you not at least glance over a roster? do you not glance over what has this team done since the season ended? I mean, did you not look at our draft? Did you not look at any of the offseason acquisitions? I mean, you just said fuck that information. I'm just gonna go full on, God, get your shit together, man. What the hell? I mean, the audacity.
Dude,
come on, man. I feel insulted for my guy Drew Lock. I mean, he still has to hear these bullshit reports that we should basically bring in another starting caliber QB. When is it going to get to the point to where, and I know small sample size, okay, great, I get it, okay, but at what point does Drew Lock get to the point to where we can put that shit to rest?
Look, I mean, it's humorous at this point because, like, you can say whatever you want about, it's a small sample size, but when you look at the grand scope of it, like exactly this, obviously we're avid Broncos fans. We can tell you there was a 180-degree night and day difference between the beginning of season and when that guy played the final 5 games. Because the beginning of the season, we're sitting there every single game going, are we going to win this? Are we going to win this? And then, bam, they drop a fucking bombshell and somehow end up losing the game because the offense can't produce even enough. Hell, 3 first downs to ice the game. They can't even produce that. This guy comes in here. We see the defense doing what they had already been doing consistently throughout the season, which was playing unrealistically, dude. They were the best red zone defense in the NFL, which is awesome. I mean, we had to sit there and endure through Vance Joseph's defense for 2 years, which was it was horrific, and how horrible they were in the red zone. And Vic Fangio comes and takes the reins, and instantaneously, no team is scoring on us. I mean, other than Kansas City, I'll definitely give them their props. But I mean, when you look at the statistics of how many times or the amount of time that the opposing offense had the ball compared to ours, it was unbelievable that the score wasn't 50 every single game, and somehow we almost won. And then he comes in, takes the reins, does what he needs to do to get the offense going with really minimal help, and it completely changed up the dynamics. Everybody around him just flourished. Garrett Bowles, all of a sudden, his penalties went down. He started playing as a top-tier left tackle. Elijah Wilkinson was still a kind of a liability, but he's not really a tackle, so I understand that he kind of got thrown out to the wolves. But you look at the rest of the offense, and they just started flourishing as well too, man. So, Lindsey started he started producing better at the end of the year. Like I said, dude, there's a reason that the people that are way, way more empowered than we are when it comes to football analysis are giving this guy the keys to the kingdom.
Right. So, bro, I've come to the conclusion that I have a newfound respect for somebody on our team. And it's not somebody that you would think, like really, this guy? AJ Johnson.
Really?
Exactly. You said you really? So I saw a video.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I saw a video today, and I guess he was working out in, like, I don't really know where this guy lives. I want to say it was his backyard, or he was working out somewhere in his neighborhood. And I guess a neighborhood kid was helping him work out. And the neighborhood kid asked him, he was like, why don't you live in a mansion? And he was just like, I got to grind for that.
Dude.
And I was like, sir, that's the type of shit that I like to see, because that takes me back to the humble beginnings where you worked out anywhere. You did whatever kind of makeshift workouts that you could put together with practically nothing. I mean, this guy it looks like he's literally working out in some grassy area that he just randomly found where he lived. And some neighborhood kid was like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, you don't live in a mansion? Just because this kid probably knows, like, okay, this dude, he plays for the Denver Broncos. Bro, why don't you not live in some gated community in some big-ass house? And he's like, hey, dude, I got to grind to get there. Like, I haven't made it there yet. So just keeping that humble work ethic. Last year was like a big breakout year for him. I mean, he really became, in Broncos country, a household name. And in the NFL, he became one of the top inside linebackers. And for him to still have that humble work ethic, newfound respect for that guy.
I got to be honest. He was probably my favorite player. I say breakout, doesn't really matter. He was my favorite player by middle of last season. I wanted him to get an opportunity last year when I had heard his backstory. I mean, you want to talk about like the ultimate bounce back. I mean, look, we won't get into politics here because we don't know the whole story. All I know is some dumb bitch who literally should be buried under the prison cost that guy 3 years of his career and millions of dollars. He was supposed to be a top tier selection in the draft coming out of Tennessee, and she fucked his entire career. His career. It cost him 3 years of his career, and now he's had to bounce back, make the roster. And then when they showed the video of him and the backstory, because it was the highlight of the whole video. You saw that parody on Twitter, right? When they did the Full House parody.
I haven't seen that.
So after we got the schedules, I'll have to send you the Twitter video. It's hilarious. But on the Broncos website, their PR put together a fucking great video that was a Full House parody, and it had a whole bunch of different players on the team in like different world scenarios, like their backyard and stuff. Well, they sketched to AJ Johnson. I'm not going to ruin the experience for you because I want you to be surprised when what happens, and you literally will be just hysterically crying, bro. It is so fucking fantastic. But it's like, dude, that is the type of personality you want around, not just in the locker room. You want in your household. You want in your friends list. You want to be talking to that type of guy every single day because that's a dude that takes advantage of every opportunity to give it to him.
For sure. Like I would love to see a sketch of AJ Johnson, him in his long dress and his little dangling earrings that he always wear every fucking game in the Full House background.
Yeah, I'm so glad you haven't seen that video yet because the way you just described it, you're going to be completely sideswiped. It's great.
But. Yeah. So, me and you talked about this, I think, last week. We're seeing some videos emerge of Jerry Jeudy just eating up the ground. I mean, that ground stood no fucking chance at Jerry Jeudy's feet. I mean, just the ankle-breaking route running that dude was doing, catching passes. Give people a little bit insights on how that makes us feel as fans.
Well, and then also go ahead and bring up what he was doing in the backyard there in Florida.
Again, making do with what you got. So when I was coming up, so me and my cousin, me and him both played football together. I mean, we played football, right alongside of each other. And I remember me and this dude, because we lived in the fucking country. Like, dude, I'm from the South. I'm from Arkansas, bro. Like, we had to make do with what we had. And so I remember me and him putting on helmet and shoulder pads, running up and down the street, making do with whatever you had. And just like Jerry Jeudy, it was like in an alleyway in his neighborhood on a juggle machine catching passes. It looks like the sun is about to go down, and he wants to get that work in. So he's just sitting in the back alley catching passes. Dude, that's the type of humble mentality and hard work that you want to see from a rookie player.
Yeah, dude. So you and I both grew up pretty poor. Obviously that's another reason that we get along so well too, is our backgrounds. And our school couldn't even afford a jugs machine. We literally had one sled to share amongst the entire team. So like I said, we played really poor football. Like literally all of our pads were just raggedy as shit. They were all duct taped back together, man. We had a limited budget. All of our helmets were all hand-me-downs, dude. We didn't have anything fancy. Half of them, like, we had to put our own stickers on there. And, 90% of us were, like, high schoolers with autism. So all of our stickers were, like, offset, like, all in awkward directions. Nothing was synchronized, dude. We just looked so horrific, man. But it's exactly like you said. Like, we did everything we could. Dude, for Christ's sake, our coach had never played a snap of football in his life. He played rugby growing up. So,
yeah. I had a coach like that in the 7th grade. His big ass never played a down of football because he did not like to get hit. And we were looking at this motherfucker like, why in the fuck are you coaching us then?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
This guy.
Public school system. Fucking hire anybody to be a coach.
Jesus, I'm just waiting for all of this entitlement to finally kick in, But dude, Jerry Judy's workout, man, like I gotta be honest, bro. I feel like I'm gonna be shoveling a shit sandwich down my throat this year because like I said, even in the middle of the draft, dude, both you and I had our jaws hit the ground, and not in a good way, when they drafted Jerry Judy over CeeDee Lamb. And after looking at the grand scheme of things and how close CeeDee Lamb is in representation to what they already have on the team in Cortland Sutton, not shortchanging CeeDee Lamb, it's just we already have one, and we have a really, really good one, potentially even great, that Jerry Judy, with what he brings to the table, is the ultimate slot corner who still can take the top off the defense if he needs to. And then when they drafted Hamler, it changed up the entire dynamics of the Judy pick. So,
right.
So do we want to roll into?
I kind of, now after watching everything, you see the vision and why they picked him. I mean, like, his route running is going to be a fucking nightmare for fucking DBs. I mean, he's going to eat some people alive with his route running. And, I mean, dude is fairly quick, too. Now, if we can get Handler, because I don't know what the fuck this dude's been doing, and we can get him on the same fucking page, because I haven't seen him work out like that. I've seen maybe one video of him doing some dumb shit. I was just
it was meager, and the cone drill, like, I mean, it can easily be defensed on one side or the other that, I mean, when he was cutting across the cones, he didn't want to run into the other guy. Nobody's arguing his speed. But even the cone drill looked dismal, and there was only one video of that. It wasn't anything really impressive. Jerry Judy just has videos of that in spades, just showing off, minor practices. Like I said, man, I still feel, and I don't want to be negative, obviously, because it's our team, but out of all the draft picks that we had this year, I feel like most of them were hits. I just don't think Hamler's going to be a hit, dude. And it comes from the fact that the guy, I think he's just grown up with silver spoon in hand. And I don't think he's ever really had to, like, truly, truly work for anything in his life. And because of the fact that the NFL doesn't work out for him, he's got a fallback plan because mom and dad are pretty well off. So, I don't know, buddy. I can't get on board for the guy. I don't think he's going to pan out.
Now, as far as that shit, I have no idea. It kind of seems like he's riding, I was good in high school, good in college. It's kind of like he assumes automatically he's going to be a beast in the NFL. No. It does not work like that, okay? I mean, you was fortunate enough to get from high school to college and college into the NFL. That's when you got to actually start putting in some work. And right now, it just does not seem as if he's putting in the amount of work that Judy is. Now, don't get me wrong. Judy comes from Alabama, where them motherfuckers are cut from a different cloth. I mean, down there. I mean, those are fucking Iron Men. I mean, you don't make it in Alabama, and you ain't got that hard work gene in your body. Penn State may be a little bit different, but it almost feels as if he's taking what he's done in the past, and he's making that as, I'm just going to breeze through this, or I could just half-ass work and jump on the field and be a beast. I don't think it's going to be that way, and I think he's going to get a rude awakening when they actually strap up and you go against somebody like Bouye, or even if you go, or even Callahan. Dude, I mean, last training camp, they say fucking Callahan was a wet blanket on anybody. You think you're going to shake and bake him and you've been half-ass working? I don't think it's going to happen like that.
Yeah, this team's lethal. And you're absolutely right, dude. But it's like we kind of texted back and forth about, too. Just like I was going through looking at the amount of schools. It's all public record on Google. Anything's easy to find. So if you look at like how many schools tried to recruit Hamler, there was 10-ish. So I mean, it was low double digits. And then you look at Judy. Judy had like almost 40 schools trying to recruit him. So, and none of them were Alabama. And I completely agree with you, dude. They are cut. That was a perfect terminology, dude. They're cut from a different cloth. Like there's no other way to describe it. Like Nick Saban doesn't go for second best players. He goes for the top echelon, and that's why they've been such a cutthroat team for so long. And I mean, you think about, dude. Like I said, there was 40 schools trying to recruit Jerry Judy. Ohio State being one of them. When he chose out of all those schools, and he knew the competition that was going to be at Alabama, he still decided to go to that school. There was fucking 4 people on the team last year that are first-round draft picks, 4 of them, and he still was the breakout. He won the Bolitnikoff over him in 2018, and he still was the number 2 receiver and the number 1 choice for Tua through 2019. So, I mean, and then you look at him post-draft, even during the draft, during the day of the draft, they were sitting there giving excerpts about the fact that he was working out before the day of the draft. It's like, you can't train that. Like that's a guy who's hungry all the time, man. I'm jealous of him, dude. If I had half that guy's work ethic, God only knows where I could be in life right now.
I think if a lot of motherfuckers had his work ethic, how far can a lot of people be? Like, man, it's just, regardless of whatever situation that dude must have been put in his entire life, he did not let that stand in the fucking way. That motherfucker had one goal only, and hard work is definitely how he got there. So I've been hearing people, have a little bit of questions and concern about particularly 2 people, Bryce Callahan and Bradley Chubb. And I recently just read that both of them are full speed, full go for training camp. That makes me feel a little bit better that our defense is going to be that much more lethal this year with having Chubb back fully healthy. And finally, we're going to see that ghost Callahan on the field. Is this motherfucker a real person or not? We about to find out.
Yeah, dude, I love Bradley Chubb, man. He's probably one of my more favorite draft picks over the last handful of years as well, too. Because, dude, like it's one thing to like become part of the team and have a great breakout season. It's another thing to be part of the community. And dude, that obviously I'm a little bit biased because I'm a hockey fan, but catching that guy at Avalanche games, which he was at a few of them, was really friggin' awesome because he's getting out. He's experiencing different cultures, different backgrounds, kind of deal. But of all the things, that shows me the guy's trying to reach out to everybody. He's trying to experience everything he can. That dude's gonna have a monster bounce back season this year, dude. I gotta be honest, dude. I am just so amped for this upcoming season, dude. I mean, well, as long as it doesn't dive bomb. And this NFLPA bullshit that they just announced is that it isn't going to impeding what's going on with this COVID garbage and us not being able to fucking check out the season. So, and right now they're talking about completely dropping the college setup. So, which that is going to be an absolute nuke.
That's going to be a shit show there. So, does it bother you or does it not bother you that he's had 2 ACL surgeries on the same knee?
Chubb?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I mean, it's something he's got to be mindful of now. So, here's to his benefit, right? Is that he has the absolute best treatment on the face of the planet. That's one of the great things about our organization. Or I said our organization like we're actually part of Denver. We're not. The team that we're a fan of, it seems like they really impress upon player health and safety there. And Greek has been so good for so many years at making sure the right people are taken care of, or the right people in there to take care of the athletes. That I got to be honest, man. I think he's going to be fine this season. He's had enough. He should have had, or he has had enough time to rehab this. And I'm not going to speak for him. Everybody's different. So to sit there and say that he's perfect, he's good to go, there's never going to be another issue, that's a fallacy. But at the same time, like I think that the excess amount of time has been beneficial to him. How about that?
Gotcha. Okay. Honestly, for me, like I know a lot of people are, I'm kind of concerned about it. Me, not so much because he's had it before and he's bounced back. If I'm not mistaken, he had it. Last time he had his ACL tear. He was high school?
Yeah.
Or maybe high school. Who can afford a top surgeon in high school to repair your ACL versus you getting your ACL repaired when you're in the NFL? I think that's the big difference because me thinking back to when I was in high school. Somebody having surgery on my knee back then versus what I can afford now is totally night and day. I mean, I can fly in the best of whoever being in the NFL and have them work on his knee and you know. So me personally, I just don't worry about it like other people do. I think he's going to be fine. Like I say, we have one of the best medical staffs fucking around in the whole NFL. So I'm just not as worried about it as other people. So I just don't understand why it's always his knee. This is his second ACL surgery. I mean, he's not like Jake Butt that's had like 10, you know, and
Yeah.
fucking keeps fucking up. So
Yeah, well, and I don't want to be the Debbie Downer on the Bradley Chubb train, but at the same time, like, I think we proved last season, Denver stacked at pass rush, dude. They're brutal.
fuck yeah.
So, I mean, it's when they say next guy up, it's no joke. They're next guy up, man. So
Yeah, for sure.
So right now we're so deep at pass rusher that like they're questioning Malik Reed not being able to make the team.
And he was one of the Cinderella stories from training camp this year, and now they talk about he won't even crack the roster. So we got some depth there, man. I mean, we should be able to put pressure on people in ways that people are not ready for.
Yeah, dude, it's an absolute wealth in spades. So there was one topic I wanted to discuss that we hadn't really got around to. That's one of our subscribers had addressed, and this is a shout out to Luke Steckschulte. And this was regarding actually not even the Broncos. This has to do entirely about the Browns. And his question was, it seems.
And you know how Mike feels about the Browns.
So I'll read this off. He says, it seems Jimmy Haslam has given Paul DePodesta full control over the makeup of the team. Depo is a big analytics guy, and he said he values leadership and overall chemistry from the top down over everything. It's clear to him that Stefanski and Barry mesh very well together. And if you watch any of the Building the Browns docs on the Browns YouTube channel, you can tell they have mirroring personalities. I have not watched those. I apologize, buddy. That's a bomb on me. He also said, continuing, the problem with the Browns has always been Haslam. He is one of the worst owners in all of sports. I won't disagree with that. Giving Depo more control is the right move, and I have so much confidence in the current hires they've made. If Andrew Berry didn't get a GM job this year, it was next year, guys, the truth. So here's what we were discussing with you back and forth in the feed, buddy, was the fact that it has nothing to do with Andrew Berry, all right? I like Andrew Berry. With him coming down – hypothetically from the Philadelphia tree, the Philadelphia GM tree, the guy has a bright future. I completely disagree with the fact that I know we'd already impressed upon the culture aspect of Cleveland, so obviously you get that with Jimmy Haslam. It has everything to do with the fact that Stefanski, I mean, he's had no time, dude. Like he was nothing innovative with Minnesota. He was so meager when it came to where Minnesota was at that they had to bring in Gary Kubiak. So this is where we were talking about from Broncos fans is obviously we are well aware of how Gary Kubiak has affected our team throughout the years.
Right.
So he was sitting in a front office post Super Bowl victory, post the 9-7 season with Trevor Siemian. They gave him a front office position, obviously, because that was the first time within, fucking almost 20 years that we had actually had a Super Bowl victory. We'd been to one with John Fox. So thanks for that, buddy. At least you gave us that season. That was pretty cool. But here's the deal about Stefanski is they brought Kubiak in because they were concerned with Stefanski coming up from basically a secondary teams coach, and his offense was not good for the second half of the season that he had taken over.
Right, and I agree with that too. Basically, it was a conversation. Do we get rid of Cousins or do we get rid of Stefanski? And the amount of money that you fucking paid Cousins, I mean, obviously he wasn't the issue because you saw when they inserted Kubiak, what did that offense do, right? What did they look like? So I think he was more so the issue than the quarterback.
Agreed. So here's where I started going off on my tangent, buddy, is the fact that I feel like there was way better options for the Browns to be able to turn that entire, at least the offense around. One was a person you and I just discussed the other day regarding the individual that someone else had brought in for Miami. So Flores brought in Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell has been an icon for both Indianapolis. He completely turned Detroit around. And then he also won a Super Bowl with Baltimore as their offensive coordinator and made our ex-quarterback look like a genius and got a Super Bowl MVP. Mm-hmm. So Jim Caldwell would have completely turned that entire franchise around. I don't give a shit who it was. Bill Belichick can suck a fat cock. Like, that's how much I believe in Jim Caldwell. The other option would have been Robert Saleh. That guy's already got a Super Bowl win under his belt. He's been to another Super Bowl, back-to-back, I might add. And then on top of that is now he's been to another Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator for San Francisco 49ers. If you're trying to turn a team around, why would you bring in a guy who has a year under his belt as an offensive coordinator? He stunk at it. And then all of a sudden you're going to make him the head coach of a team. Like I just don't understand that. You got to bring somebody in. You got to bring somebody in that has a winning pedigree. And they did none of the above with this hire. It was fucking dog shit.
Yeah. Well, so I think another thing that you have to look at is who does the team have? I mean, dude, you have Baker Mayfield, you have Chubb, you have Odell, you have Landry. I mean, dude, you have spades of talent. So you could have got anybody to be your head coach, and this is what you go with? Like, who fucking signed off on that decision? Like, so, again, you're putting yourself back behind the 8 ball again. I mean, I mean, at some point, y'all got to move up at some point. Again, you're the third best fucking team in Ohio. Ohio State is number 1. You know, don't get that twisted at all. And, like, you had a chance to really set yourself apart, and y'all do this dumb shit. Like, I don't understand, man.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum here. Like I said, we're gonna let people have their own perspective on this and their own assumptions and what we're talking about. So here's my other input. So there was 2 coordinators this year that have Super Bowl experience now that really have winning pedigrees and should be head coaches.
One of them from Kansas City.
So, right. So you knew exactly who I was going for.
Exactly. I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, thank you. So, I won't go any further than saying that I agree with the fact that the Rooney Rule needs to be readjusted, or the fact that there's a lot of fucking general managers that need to lose their job after this, because I don't understand it. I don't fucking get it. Like maybe it is the Rooney Rule. Maybe it's just really piss poor general managers. But either way, I don't get the Andrew Berry hire, and I completely disagree with the fact that they're going to go in the wrong direction. Berry's going to get fired in a year or 2 because of this.
Seeing their shit history, I'm not going to go as far as to say it was a Rooney Rule and just complete stupidity, because you had the coordinator from Kansas City, and you picked this fucking guy?
Yeah.
Like, come on, again. Like, if I'm Odell Beckham Jr. and I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm already playing my agent strategy. I'm already like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, there's no
dumbass shit like that.
Mayfield's getting his $33 million and bouncing. Like, there's no fucking way he's going to re-up with this team. But, I mean, there's a handful of other ones, too. Dude, look at fucking – I mean, you look at Green Bay, like Matt LaFleur this year. I mean, here's the other deal about it. It had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that he traded up for Jordan Love. There was people upset about that.
Yeah.
But here's what pissed everybody the fuck off. You have a legendary wide receiver draft class, dude. We took fucking 3 of them. 3 of them. The Denver Broncos took 3 wide receivers. No QBs for the first time in Christ. I can't remember how long, David. I'm not sure. We took 3 wide receivers. You couldn't give Aaron Rodgers, one of the most prolific quarterbacks on the face of the planet, a second-round wide receiver. Fuck the Jordan Love pick. What about the other shit? Like, they did nothing to benefit that guy for another year. It's like there's certain things that don't fucking make sense, and it's just one bullshit after it. Dude, the Giants, they just hired the special teams fucking
coach.
Coach.
Judge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding myself. They also just got rid of one of the best offensive coordinators of all time, and we scooped him up, so that's good. But dude, there were so many head coaching positions on the table that got overlooked that I really just I question. You know, I don't understand it, buddy.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that was a good question for our subscriber. Hey, man, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for dropping that question. Hey, anybody else, man, hey, if y'all want to drop a shit like that, hey, man, we're all for it, man. We would love to talk about shit like that. Hey, so you know where to find us. Twitter, Uncommon Man Pod, YouTube, same thing. Hit us up.
Absolutely. So, well, like I said, guys, we appreciate it. This is our kickback session for the week. We got another one ensuing here as of Wednesday, so that will be on the map. I promise you guys I won't botch this one. Otherwise, buddy, happy Father's Day, my friend, as late as it may be, belated or not.
Appreciate it, bro.
And enjoy, buddy. Make sure you tell the new family.
The new family, man. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. So excited about that.
We still love you guys. So, and we always will, but
yeah,
we still do.
Same your way, bro. Looking forward to another one. Again, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. We out.
All right. Later, guys.
All right.